I am IceCube.
I am Zorbz.
And we are singing because...
I don't know if that's singing, but... Because we can! That's why.
Is that the rap part or something? Or because, you know,
No,
we had something going there and we just stopped.
No, yeah. Because it sucked.
Ah, come on. I think they were entertained. The ones that didn't press stop straight away.
Yeah, they're like, what's this rubbish? They're like, is this like a church for games?
No church. Well, this is
we are your saviors.
The church of gaming and garages, or in this case, the living room.
Yes, lounge room gamers.
Yes, we're upgrading.
Woo!
Yeah.
See the enthusiasm on my face.
You know that when we're recording in the attic, that we're at the top of our game. Because that's right now, like we're on the ground floor.
Do you have one?
No, so maybe we just have to record on the roof.
We'll never get to that.
Rooftop gamers.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the topic today, Zorbz?
Nintendo NX! The console you've been waiting for.
Not really, no.
Okay, the console I've kind of been waiting for because I still don't know what it's gonna be.
No, we don't, none of us know what it's gonna be. We have an insider scoop though. We have an exclusive information about this.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, which is why everyone's tuned in.
Okay.
Because I want to hear our exclusive scoop.
Okay, you'll find that at the end of the episode.
Apparently, I've heard like from a source that the NX is going to be round.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be 3 times as powerful as the PlayStation 6.
6.
And it's going to have 10 Zelda games at launch.
10?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All of them remastered from the ground up.
That's right, yeah. So all the...
Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons.
That's right.
Minish Cap, all of them.
I heard that from a legitimate source. And the source's friend.
Okay.
Of that source.
Yeah.
Who had another source.
Yeah.
And that source
that
knew
guy
someone
was,
who might have worked at Nintendo.
Some people say non-existent.
They're so skeptical.
So, NX, what have you heard about it? Have you heard anything?
Well, I think I just gave you my scoop.
Okay, that's as much as he knows about it.
What do you know about it?
So I'm going to go through the rumours, okay. So we don't know what it looks like yet. We don't know how powerful it's going to be. We've had some rumours that it's going to be on the level of a PS4. I saw something...
What's the point?
Just calm down.
No.
Calm down. We'll get there. We'll get there.
No.
Let's go right in. All right.
Let's tackle this now.
All right.
What's the point of doing one that's on the level of the PS4?
Exactly. What's the
Why
point?
are they stop? The problem is for Nintendo is they're constantly playing catch up.
Yeah.
Get ahead of the game.
So they haven't announced it, but some little leaks were saying that it was going to be running games at 60 frames at 900p, which is already behind the PS4. So it's like, okay, it's at Xbox One level. But they haven't announced it, but it's coming in March next year.
Yeah.
So we know when it's coming out, but we don't know what it looks like, we don't know what it does, we know nothing. So we already know there's a new PlayStation 4 coming out, the PlayStation Neo, PlayStation 4K, whatever you want to call it. They've said it's coming. We already know about the new Scorpio, the Xbox Scorpio. They've already announced that. There was the end of the E3.
We kind of know about that.
Yeah, but we know it's apparently 4 times the power of the Xbox One.
Yeah, we've got a few tidbits of it.
So, if NX comes out in March, they've already lost.
Well,
because there's already going to be the new consoles.
The truth is that we don't know, and I think that's actually probably a good move by Nintendo, because if they're actually they might be planning to kick everybody's ass and like outdo the Scorpio. Like they may have something like really big in the works. As far as we know.
So.
I don't think so either.
They keep saying that they're not about graphics, and you know that. They don't care.
When have they said that? Have they actually said that?
They've said stuff like, you know, where you know...
They've implied it when asked about these questions in defense of their own you know, technology.
Why, like, I don't know. When you played the 64 or the GameCube, those looked amazing. They were actually graphically superior in ways. And then all of a sudden the Wii came out and
well, N64 came out and the PlayStation was shortly after, and the PlayStation
No, the PlayStation was before.
Well, there you go. And the PlayStation was ahead of the N64.
Not graphically.
Yes, graphically.
No, it wasn't. Yes, it was a 32-bit system. The 64 was a 64-bit system.
I can't remember spec-wise, but
in terms of like, in terms of graphics, like the 3D models, it looked way better on the 64, but they had no textures. There was more texture depth in the PS1.
Well, you are totally out-nerding me right now.
I am very mega nerd.
I can't keep up with that nerdism.
But even the GameCube had some games that were just like, wow, like Mario Sunshine looked amazing.
Resident Evil 4 came out. That actually did look pretty good. But
it looks better on that than PS2 as well. If you put them side by side, you will realise it's better. Not by much. Not like you have to like really squint your eyes. Yeah. But okay, we can at least say that they were on par. They weren't a step behind until the Wii. The Wii was like a clear like we don't even care.
I honestly don't think the GameCube and the N64 are up to scratch with the PlayStation consoles.
They were.
I don't think so.
They were.
No, I really don't.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to him. This is good.
You got to compare them side by side.
Yeah. This is another video. Yeah, but this is good. This is good banter. All right. Yeah. So as you were.
So anyway, so the Wii. Okay, as much as you're saying maybe not with the N64, the Wii was a terrible downgrade from a PS3 and an Xbox 360.
Yep.
The Nintendo made games look pretty good, like the Mario Galaxies and that, but everything else just looked like rubbish. Anything made by a third party was like a PS2 game. And it's like, really?
Even less.
Yeah, like they were terrible.
Yeah.
So then they came out with the Wii U. And then the Wii U was the equivalent of like a PS3 and an Xbox 360. But even then, apparently that was still slightly dumbed down. But then Nintendo puts out Mario Kart. Looks like, whoa, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Again, third party comes out. Oh, we can't make, Assassin's Creed 3, I think it was, look as good as the other consoles. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why are you already a step behind and you've had all this time?
Like, to me, like, because I did, like, Splinter Cell, they did Batman, a lot of those, Mass Effect. They did Mass Effect, yeah.
Yeah, Darksiders too.
They were close. I mean,
they're close.
Way close enough for me not to go, oh, look at that difference there. Like, unless I'm like comparing them, I don't think I'd really have noticed.
But how many years did they have?
Well, that's it, and that's the biggest problem, is that they actually they brought these games out that everyone had finished like at least a year earlier. It was almost just it was a very educational kind of what if scenario turned to real life. What if a new console came out and brought out the same games a year later? Yeah, we have the answer right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So already I'm just like, are they going to do the same thing? Are they just going to... They've had all this time from the Wii U, which is not selling well. Let's be honest. They've had all this time. They've seen what the PS4 can do. They've seen what the Xbox One can do. Are they going to make it look better than them? And I don't think they are. I think they're just going to keep it on par. And then as soon as those next consoles come out, they're just going to get overshadowed again.
No, I'm with you there. I think they're looking to compete with the PS4 and the Xbox One. I think they're trying to get equal with them. I think that's what they're going to ultimately do. But now at E3, the Xbox has come up with the Scorpio, and the PlayStation's come up. So they're upgrading again.
Yeah,
so
and they're going to be
I think Nintendo's just watched this and just going, oh no,
not again, not again,
not again.
Or do you think it's maybe that PlayStation, Microsoft are like, let's just get rid of them. Like, let's just get rid of them.
Get rid of what?
Nintendo.
What? How? How are they going to do that?
Just by like killing their consoles, just by making everyone think they're the laughing stock.
Well, they've kind of been doing that for the years already, but they're getting held afloat because Nintendo's got a good grip on the younger market. And when the Wii came out, that brought in a massive family and women market. They really picked up on the fitness stuff and I think parents in particular, like they thought, well, we can't buy the kids a console because they're bad, video games are bad, but we'll give them a Wii because there's a lot of fitness games and they're moving about, so that they'll keep fit. So a lot of parents bought the kids a Wii for that reason, and the games were pretty much 100% or 99% kid free.
Kid free.
Not kid free.
Kid friendly.
Kid friendly. Kid friendly.
Definitely not quite the opposite of kid free. All kid. No.
Yeah. So anyway, but I agree. But you know what? I would be like if the what's it called, the NX.
NX.
When the NX comes out, if Nintendo just goes, ta-da, and brings out this device which is like, I don't know, twice as powerful as the Xbox One or something, I would
lose my mind.
Bravo, Nintendo. And you know what? It's I think they're at a point where they should be seriously considering that. The thing is that the audience that are buying their games, they're not the hardcore audience that are passionate about graphics and processors.
I buy their consoles.
Well, I would like it to be as good as it can be, but the majority of their audience are young kids who just want to play these Mario games and these young person games. And
Do kids really want to play those?
Well,
I'm pretty sure kids want to play...
Nintendo, they're the games that are keeping them afloat.
But kids want to just play Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto.
But Nintendo still has a massive following of their standard production.
The Wii U doesn't.
Well,
the Wii U's got hardly any followers.
No, it does. In Japan, it's still huge. Like Nintendo's
they've sold like 10 million worldwide, or 11 million, or something stupid like that. PS4 has been out
but
less,
also,
and it's got 40 million.
But you're forgetting that the 3DS, which is doing really well, and that's making up for any loss that the Wii U's doing, and that's 2 consoles to the one that, I mean, PlayStation's seemingly given up on the Vita, except for Japan, which I think still got some JRPGs coming out of it. I think we get like one game every 3 months or something, like some random JRPG that nobody's heard of. That's been translated to English very hurriedly. But
bringing up the 3DS though, that brings us into the next rumor, and that is that it's going to have a portable component to it. So much like the gamepad, you play. Gamepad's awesome. I love the Wii U.
Is this an official word or is this a rumor?
No, these are patents that come out, and they're rumors, and they're just speculation. But there has been some weird patents.
Because I also had some patents at the beginning of the episode, which nobody's given me credit for.
But there's been a long rumor that it's going to have a handheld component. So you're playing your game, blah blah blah, whatever it looks like, and then you'll be able to leave and continue playing on your gamepad without, having to be in proximity to the console.
Okay.
So much like...
So why have the console?
Well, if you want to play on a TV. I mean, not everyone wants to play on a portable.
Okay.
So then people were like, well, how does that work? What are you going to put a disc in there? And how's the battery life going to be? All this sort of stuff. Now another rumor has come up that's saying that it's going to be cartridge based. So I guess, and when people think cartridges, you think of like, the old big NES ones or the SNES one. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it'll be like an SD card, which is more akin to the 3DS.
Yeah.
That would make more sense if you put that in the system, because an SD card can have just as much as like a Blu-ray disc can hold. So you put that in the system, and then you could pop that out and put it straight in the controller. Wouldn't really be a big deal for size.
It's interesting.
And people are worried about that as well. Like, why are they going back to cartridges? But
nothing wrong with it.
But what was your favourite thing about a cartridge?
I loved it when the cartridge broke and you had to blow it, and that would somehow fix it.
But we're thinking about an old one. But think about the one thing that of all cartridges haven't had: load times. When you put in a 64 game, a Super Nintendo game, they didn't load.
But that'd be different today.
But I still think
because the games are so big. Like back then, the games were just lots of bits following each other. Whereas now it's just like they're encompassing so much more information that it's at least an element of it. Like if you've got a super fast computer, you still have 1 second of load time.
I still feel that a disc has to read through sectors, and I just feel like an SD card would limit some of those load times. Maybe. And if they can do that, imagine remember Bloodborne took like a minute to load sometimes, like it was a ridiculous amount. Imagine Nintendo's like, okay, so if the average of PS4 games load takes 30 seconds or something, we're going to do it at 5. It sounds little, but
that's fine. I mean, load times aren't a big issue for me in general. I really don't care.
Depends on the game.
I mean, it's frustrating dying repeatedly in Bloodborne and having to wait for load time and that, but ultimately, no big deal. It's what annoys me more is downloading giant updates that don't seem to have any point or relevance to have, particularly when you just buy the game and you put the disc in and go, by the way, here's a 30 gigabyte update. Why? It's ridiculous, but I don't know. I mean, maybe load times, less load times, always a good thing.
And also being kid friendly is a disc, you can scratch it. I mean, cartridges, we used to treat those like crap. If we're talking about the old ones, like you could drop them, like slam on the ground, they were fine.
The big thing for Nintendo, right? I mean, I think it's wise that they haven't revealed anything so far, right? Because if they came out and said, this is the NX at E3, here's what it is, and look how amazing it is, and then they've kind of just made it catch up to Xbox and PS4. And then Xbox and PS4 come up with their press conference, and we're already moving on from there. Yeah. Nintendo will just be like, because I think that's happened before.
Okay,
that's happened before to them.
Miyamoto has he's stated that they didn't show anything because they don't want anyone to copy.
Yeah, well
they don't want anyone to steal their ideas.
Yeah, well that's logical. That's smart, and that's perfectly fine.
Saying that, it's kind of like, well, they must have something good. You wouldn't say that if it was just another Wii U. You know what I mean? They'd have to have something, a new hook, a new innovation to make you be like,
well,
whoa.
And it could be that super technology that I was talking about before, maybe. Because I tell you what, if PlayStation and Xbox heard that Nintendo was coming up with like something that was going to outdo the Project Scorpio,
they would hold off on that.
Then they would be like, whoa, that'd make them raise their eyebrows and stop and think for a minute. Whereas currently they're just going, we don't care what Nintendo does. You know what I mean? Like they can do their thing. We've got control of this market. You know. But if Nintendo came out with that, they'd suddenly have to pause and go, wait a minute, we have to think about what we're doing here because this could be a real threat.
Yeah.
So maybe that is, along the lines of what they're doing. But then you also got to wonder, like, the main thing for Nintendo is more than just the technology available. I think having the technology available is important.
Yeah.
Because that will get all the developers who are ignoring them on board. And they need that badly.
And they need a way to make games easy to program for it as well.
Yeah.
Apparently that's been an issue.
Well, yeah, and it was for Sony PS3.
Yeah.
But they still worked a way around. They still made that happen because
it was on par and
it was a popular device, right? Now Nintendo, if they get on par, they could make this a real three-party battle.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if the publishers can see that Nintendo is giving them a device which is on par with the Xbox and PlayStation, they'll suddenly start supporting it. Like publishers like EA and stuff, they just openly go, no, we're not supporting it off the bat, which is a bit of a dick thing to do. But I think business sense wise, it probably, in the end, probably made a bit of sense because I think, they did support cheap options like re-releasing Mass Effect for the 10th time, giving it to Nintendo. But like Ubisoft was like helped them out. They did stuff for the 3DS, they did stuff for the Wii U, and I don't think any of it went well ultimately for them. They even deliberately made unique exclusive games for the 3DS, such as games I can't think of the top of my head right now. But basically they supported it, and I don't think any of those games really worked out well for them, unfortunately. So,
this is not a big install base.
And then all of a sudden they'll be bringing out all the same games that the other consoles are doing. They'll be really in that game. Plus they'll be bringing out the Mario games and all the other stuff that the Nintendo fans currently enjoy. And then you've got a legit contender, and you really do.
And I mean, talking about E3, Nintendo only had one game to show, and funnily enough, everyone says they won E3. Everyone, that was the highest rated game for E3 was the new Zelda.
Yeah.
And that was showing it on the Wii U. And they've said that is going to be available day one for the NX.
Yeah.
It's going to be a launch title.
Yeah.
So already you've got a game that's already won E3. Like everyone's like, oh, everyone who played it was like, it's amazing. So that's your day one game.
I think part of it sells itself.
Yeah, it's Zelda. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
but like think about it. You've got a 60. Let's just say it's like a 60-hour open world Zelda game. That's a pretty good deal when you get your first game, because it's not like some cheap 10-hour game that you just rush through. Like it's a pretty meaty experience.
It's a meaty experience. Doesn't make it a great game.
But everyone's played it and said it's pretty great. So
but it's not finished yet. I'm not.
Yeah, I know, but the demo.
And also, there's a lot of bias out there because people just. This is what I was talking about with Blizzard before. They know it's Zelda, therefore by default it has to be good. Is it? We don't know. Let's wait.
You can watch gameplay. It looks good.
Yeah, I find it looks good now.
But
what's the full game
they
gonna be?
didn't funnel you into a demo where you had to go down a certain path. They just said, do whatever you want. And people were all experiencing different things when they were playing. So that kind of shows like they're confident in their product.
That's fine, but we don't even know if that's going to work as a thing for Zelda. That open world, like that could actually completely ruin everything that they've done with Zelda so far. It could be just too big. And we were talking about this in the previous episode. Like, I'm just kind of getting really sick of these games that just have this infinite ending. Like, I want some closure on these games.
Oh,
like,
no, I think
I don't have, like, it's weird. Like, we're demanding bigger and better games that take like hours and hours of gameplay, but everyone's lives are so much busier today that they don't have the time to actually play and finish the damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating that we've got all these unfinished games in our pile that we just can't ever get to because everything's so damn big. I want more of these 10-hour games and these 20-hour games that I can just put some closure to.
Yeah,
and
but
say,
we're not in high school, like where we don't have a job yet. You know, like
those
people would love these.
They have
long
more
games.
time than us.
Yeah, and they love.
But
those.
they're also busy. Busy as well. Like I swear to God, I reckon today's lifestyle is significantly busier than what it was when we were younger.
Yeah.
Mobile phones, social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, back when we didn't have the internet, we'd just play games.
Yeah. Like,
call your friends up. You want to come over?
The only news we got was in newspapers. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
I didn't read newspapers.
Well, there you go. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But
Grandpa.
Anyway.
But so, my main concern is it's coming out in March. We're in July.
Yep.
We don't even know what it looks like. Can't they just show us a picture? Can't they just say this is at least what it looks like? Come on.
To be honest, look, I don't hugely care.
I do. I want to be hyped.
But I think it's too soon. Like I mean, I know the Wii U's not done well. I just love the Wii U still.
I do too, but they're not making any more new games for it.
But
there's
it
nothing
sounds
new.
like they're just making one game for
there's just
the
got
NX.
Yeah, but that's the only game coming out for the Wii U.
And that in itself is a whole other problem. Like I'm just finding like I don't know where's the game quantity? It's just like
they've given up on the Wii U. It's done. I feel it's a good way. They're like, well, why continue to make games when no one wants to buy them?
I guess so.
They're just let's scrap it. Let's eat the cost, and just make a new one.
Yeah, I guess they're forced to do it. It just sucks.
I know.
The situation sucks.
But
But
I mean,
I like the gamepad.
I know, and I hate people that say it sucks because it's awesome.
Good.
Having your menu on there when you're playing
like
the game.
the two screens, it makes sense. Yeah. It's logical.
So good. You can even watch Netflix on it. That's so good. It's like if you don't have an iPad or your phone's too small and you just want to watch something portable, you just pull that out and watch that in bed. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. And in games like Deus Ex and Splinter Cell, like where you use gadgets and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and they're all on there.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like it's right
so
there,
easy.
and then you can go to the you're there on the screen, but you're fidgeting with the tech stuff, hacking and stuff on there. Yeah.
It had some awesome things that just. I feel like maybe if it was on par with I don't know, because it is on par. I don't know what they could have done for the Wii U to say that like.
No, I agree. I just feel sad for the situation how it panned out. I like it. It needed better tech specs and it needed more support.
Yeah.
And it didn't get either. And that's the sad part about it. That's why I think and it just like I think the lack of tech specs equaled lack of support, and lack of support equaled lack of games equaled lack of interest.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna flowchart that.
Nintendo said though that they're doubling down on their first party games that they're going to be producing, and I think that I don't know. I heard this. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that the 3DS team and the Wii U team are merging and just becoming like the one Nintendo team.
See, why do your rumors get credibility and mine at the beginning?
Because I hear them off actual sources. Not personally. I hear them secondhand or something else.
As did I.
Oh crap! You pulled it out your ass.
So what's the difference?
okay, these sources are coming from Japan. We're not in Japan.
Oh, you know they came from Japan. Which source?
They
told
get
you
them
from Japan?
Famitsu and all those Japanese
Who's they?
sources. Oh, you want me to go through other outlets? There we go. But that's the thing. No, we could say rumor. We could go through a million of them, and none of them could be true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, but we're never going to know. And at least, can they at least tell me, like, this is when you'll know? Like, can't they just say, okay, in October we're going to do a Nintendo Direct, and you're going to know what it looks like, or what its features
I just love
are.
it how, I mean, they really have this, like, they've got this attitude, like, we're sick of the Western setup, we're sick of the Western reviews, all they do is hate on us, we're going to fob off E3, we're going to fob off all your systems, and we're just going to do our own Nintendo Direct whenever we're ready. We're not, like, because they timed this release for March, alright?
Which I'm going to talk about in a second, because it's terrible.
That's before E3, which is like 2 months later, which means that's the last big opportunity to showcase this thing, which just shows how much of a crap they give in terms of revealing or following these these setups that we have in place to make these announcements. So they're off the charts, man.
So, March, that's a great time to buy stuff, isn't it? Everyone's going to have spent their Christmas money in December. Families are going to go out and go, oh, my son wants a console. Oh, look, there's that new Xbox Slim that's cheaper. Oh, look, there's an old PlayStation 4 that's cheaper. And they're going to buy those.
Well, there's no AAA games and stuff like that are coming out between March and May these days.
Yeah, AAA games. But if parents are buying consoles in December, they're not going to go buy another console in March.
Yeah, but I mean,
and because there's no info out.
But there's almost the degree of like, you get a first wave when you hit March, where you got all the interested parties that want to buy, the Nintendo NX in March. And then you got about 7 months where you can just, maybe they're confident in the fact that when people see it, it'll get positive reviews this time. Probably misplaced confidence, but they could take that confidence, and then the idea is that then the kids will start telling the parents, I want this for Christmas, I want this for Christmas, I want this for Christmas.
So they're going to wait like 7 months or whatever?
Well, maybe they feel like it needs to be...
9 months to get to
Maybe
Christmas.
they feel like it needs to be seen and have it in people's houses before
it
people
needs to
catch
be
on.
seen. Show us.
No, in the household. In the household.
Because it's another thing, like, okay, so little Johnny's going to go, Mom, I want the NX. And she's going to be like, what's an NX? No one knows.
That's it, and that's
no one even knows.
That proves my point, though. Because if his friend's got an NX and they can say...
His friend's not even going to know what an NX is.
Yeah, but who knew what a Wii was when that came out?
Everyone.
Not when it came out. Only when it started phasing its way into households, and then it just grew and grew because parents caught on to it after it came out.
Yeah, but okay.
I mean, yes, it was good at first, like it got enough exposure at first, but that flowed for...
But you got to think of third parties. They're going to be like, oh wow, okay, so the console's out and it hasn't done anything. They're going to be like, do we really want to make games for this?
Third parties know. They know. They know.
They know what?
They know what the NX is.
Yeah, they know what it is. I'm saying when it comes out and the sales don't show that well because no one else knows what it is.
But they'll reveal it before it comes out.
Yeah, but when?
Well, who knows? Like, we've got plenty of months till... It's only July, and that's like almost a year away.
Not really. That's another...
9 months?
So April, May, June. We're in July.
Why do we need a whole year to hear about it?
It's 8 months away.
Why do we need that length of time? Why not, they could just tell us the day before.
Because you want families that... You want to reveal it so that families can be told by their children, Mum, the new Nintendo's coming out in March. And then the family's like, look, you can have that for your Christmas present. You just might have to wait a bit. You know? That's probably a good thing when a family's like, oh, okay, we won't buy the PlayStation 4, we won't buy the Xbox One, we'll wait 3 more months and we'll get you the NX. But they're not going to do that because, who knows, for all we know they could announce it in December. And then families are like, we already bought the console for him already. He's going to wait another 10 years before buying another console.
That's their marketing strategy. Who cares? You know what I mean?
I want it to succeed, though.
Me too. I want it to succeed as well. I want Nintendo to strive and compete and be up there with the big ones again, like back when it was Sega versus Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and they were the look where Sega is now.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Although, if Nintendo fails at this with this console, then I just wish they give up on consoles and release their games on Sony and Xbox platforms. Because how awesome would that be? Because Sega does that.
It's the beginning of the end if they do that. It's
Why?
the beginning
But
of
they
the
can
end.
make so much money. Hardware, does it even make that much money? They usually sell it at a loss. Like, they would kill it because if
But
40 plus million people have PS4s and they sell, 20 million copies of Mario on there.
You know what? But Sega went from console to develop to publisher, and
Developer with Sonic.
it was the beginning of the end. As soon as they followed the console, it was the beginning of the end. They had a lot of big franchise rights. Sonic was huge.
It's getting revitalized.
Plenty of other characters. Oh,
Yeah, now they've got a new comic, they've got a new TV show.
come on, man! Like,
No,
Sonic
he's coming back.
Sonic at
He's back.
at the Rio Olympic Games or something. He's
But he's in the new
he's
Smash
past
Bros.
his prime.
He's still relevant. I'm holding on
He's
here.
he's almost like Archie comics.
Why can I buy this shirt at this day and age? Because people still know who he is.
Because you want like antique collectibles.
Sure. No, but apart from that, they've got other games like don't they do the Total War series that people love?
That's all they
And
do.
they've got Atlas. Atlas is owned by Sega as well, and they do like Persona, right?
Is that? I don't think that's Sega.
Sega is partnered with Atlas.
Locally?
No, I'm pretty sure, like globally, I'm pretty sure in Japan.
Well, yeah, but it's not. Doesn't fall under Sega. They may be helping to distribute, but like.
I'm
but
pretty sure they get something out of it.
But they're their own like developers, Atlas.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Sega helps publish.
Maybe.
So they're getting some money.
Well, yeah, I mean they're alive. On a defibrillator.
But okay, fair enough. But Nintendo would not fail on another console. There's no
famous
way.
last words.
They would not fail. How would Mario fail on a PlayStation 4 looking amazing?
It changes
or
the
Donkey
vibe.
Kong.
It changes the vibe.
Metroid.
It changes the vibe. They'll fall to the mercy of PlayStation and their rules and regulations.
Sony will be
Right.
like, if you make us an amazing game, we will throw money at you.
Yeah, at first, and then look, it'll probably make money. I'm not saying it won't make money, but it'll just fade from interest eventually.
I don't know.
If it stays with Nintendo, it'll still be like a flagship thing, I think, for years. Same with
Or-
Link. It'll be, like they've got their flagship titles, which they can just keep recycling them. In an ideal scenario, they'll keep making consoles better, on par with the other ones. They'll make their flagship titles, and then they'll be able to bring in some more money to get some more. Well, not just to also bring out the same games that Xbox and PlayStation bring out at the same time they do, but also include high quality
first party release.
First party releases, exactly, yeah. Exclusive releases, really.
But I think if you phase out of the console, release games on on Microsoft or Sony or whatever, you can do both. You can choose one, and then still have your own handheld. I think that might be all right, because their handheld is what's keeping them afloat, as you said. Like their handheld is outselling their consoles, except for the Wii. But the Wii U is definitely.
It is. I just think having your own console, even though it's not doing as well, is a status thing.
Yeah, it's like, look, we have our own console.
Yeah, that's a big status thing, and if they're going to drop that status, that drops them like not just to one level below, like it drops them way down, and all of a sudden, if they're just making games for Sony and for Microsoft, they're going to have to make their games fit all their rules and their regulations that all the other developers have to adhere to, which Nintendo won't like, but they'll probably be forced to do and have to do.
I don't think
and then
they
Nintendo,
will. I think
Nintendo will make Mario. They'll make their Mario games for them. They'll make the Zelda games for them, but the impact of them will just dwindle because they won't receive the
not
same.
if they're amazing though. Because Nintendo fans will have to go.
Are they amazing enough to like? Because I mean, they can make good games. They can probably survive for years doing it.
I reckon they'd be fine.
But that probably will be fine. But as a business, it will be so much smaller. Like it's just like I mean, if they're forced to do it, they're forced to do it. There's fine.
But do you really think if they said, saying about rules and regulations, if they went to Microsoft and Sony, don't you think Sony and Microsoft would be like, no, we'll give you the better deal, we'll make it easier?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so
at first,
Nintendo would.
First.
It's like Kojima. Like when he left Konami, everyone was probably fighting over him.
Yeah.
And then Sony was like, oh, he's ours. And so he probably got that sweet deal.
At first, but at the end of the day, like, it's just like it's basically an arcade game, really. That's kind of like, there's lots of arcade games on those consoles already. It's the A-list of arcade games, but Rayman's pretty good. It's not. I'm not saying it's not that level.
Yeah.
It's better than Rayman, but there's only so far.
But you never know. Like, I mean, Ratchet and Clank sold really well. Something.
And will they be allowed to have full control over the direction of their games as they have in the past?
Yeah, for sure.
Or would they?
They would. Sony would just be like Sony published. That's it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But we're talking as if it's dead and hasn't even been announced officially yet.
There's some great hypotheticals.
Yeah. But hopefully, the NX works. Hopefully, we get an amazing console. And hopefully it's backwards compatible, because I don't want to, I'd like to keep
one of the
those.
great things, in fact, one of the things they did best was the transition from the Wii to the Wii U.
Yeah, just keep all your hardware,
They had a system in place so you could just, like, so easy, just transfer everything across in one sweet move. And it was fantastic. What they need to fix is that online system, online accounts, sharing. Or, I mean, they got something in place, but it's a mess. They need to really clean it up.
And also, just stop holding back on your virtual console titles. Just release them. Like, why is it that every console you get, so you got the Wii, and they're like, here's Mario 64 to download. And then, like, months later, here's Mario Kart. It's like, just release them.
But it's the same issue that they're all having, like, how Xbox One came out and said, we're going to do backwards compatible for all our games. And credit for the idea, credit for the execution to a degree. They said all they had to do, like, once they get a thumbs up from the developer, they just have to push a button, apparently, and essentially, and then they can get the game working on the Xbox One. But they had a big wave of them at first,
and
then
now it's just sort of dwindling, and they're going slow.
And so the idea of backwards compatible, only the kind of the A-list games you've already played to death have been approved, and the ones that you were curious to try, there's no word as to if they're like, and all these developers shut down.
Yeah, I get that, and I get people have like bought the rights and sold the rights and all that. But then Nintendo made games; they don't have all of those up. Like, if you own the game licenses, release
But
it.
even they had developers which may have and like unusual contracts in the early days that weren't, because it was very like.
But like, for example, Mario RPG's just coming out on the Wii U. Why now? Why didn't you put it out 2 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yes, I don't know. There's some. That's a strategy, or
Although
that's
that
a
was,
legal thing.
I'm pretty sure that was made with Square. I'm pretty sure Square helped make that. So that might be why. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, that was our NX talk and rumours and...
Was this our longest video ever?
Probably, but I get passionate about my Nintendo because, I mean, that's what I was raised on.
I don't really get passionate about it.
He was raised on Atari or some grandpa.
I was raised on Nintendo. I don't get passionate about it.
Nintendo! Even though I'm wearing a Sega shirt, but
You can't be pro Nintendo and then accuse other people of being grandpa. Like, Nintendo's older than the ones that you get...
I said Atari. Atari's the oldest.
I don't play Atari.
Yeah, you do. You're playing Pong for years.
I missed that era.
Alright, so thanks everyone for watching. We are the Garage Gamers. I am Zorbz. This is...
IceCube.
Yeah, that's IceCube. And... this is probably the last time you're going to see us as the Lounge Room Gamers.
Living room gamers.
Living room.
Sounds good.
Living
Sounds
room.
fancier.
I thought Lounge Room was fancier.
No, that's lounging. Living.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're living because we're above ground. So be sure to check out our website, www.gamebug.com.au. Go to Facebook, Instagram, What
There's
else? We
so
got
much.
Twitter,
There's so much cool stuff on there.
YouTube.
Zorbz.
We got heaps of content on there.
Yeah, it's just like we've got to get people just going there. And
Level
check it
Up
out.
Fridays. We got Gamebug TV.
We've been doing stuff for years too. We're like veterans pros. We
I haven't, but you have.
We go to visit the publishers. We go to get exclusive stuff. We don't do the same things as other people though.
Yeah,
Because they all do the same thing. Like we try to do different things.
We won't flood you
Like-
with the news that you can read at 6 million other sites.
We try to do different things, like talk about games in front of a video camera. Nobody does that.
Nobody does. Especially not on YouTube.
Yeah, they're never. Like, so if you want unique people talking about video games in unique living rooms.
I mean, you're never going to see someone with a beard talk about video games, are you?
Yeah, nor nerds talking about video games.
No. Just guys in suits usually. Alright, so be sure to check us out, like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and tell your friends about us. Bye!
Bye.